Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome back to RaceRoom for something very special. It's the 1 year anniversary of the SCB sim racing community, a Discord group I set up with Chris Rogers and Sven from Zero to Hero in 2021. And to celebrate, we've returned to the scene of our very first community race, GT3 at Spa. Now, SCB has become bigger and better than any of us founding fathers could possibly have imagined at the time. It's way more than a YouTuber's community. It belongs to its 300 plus members who together provide some of the fairest, most competitive and enjoyable sim racing you can find. And this race and this video is really a celebration of that. I can't possibly do justice to everyone's race, but alongside my highlights, we'll also be showcasing some of the best driving through the field. Right then, 30 minutes, GT3 Spa. We are starting in 6th position in the PlayStation liveried BMW. 5 red lights going on. Let's get ready for green, and we are underway here. We've made a bit of a sluggish start. You can see on the helicopter radar there, we're getting passed on our left hand side by at least one driver. We're going to hug to the inside. Hopefully everybody spots their braking behind, which it seems they do. And we are now down into 7th position, but at least we've gotten through T1 safely as everybody barrels down the hill and into Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time. Got to be gentle through this corner, got to anticipate that somebody might make a mistake up ahead, but nobody does, so that's brilliant. And look up ahead, you've got Paul Martin and Paolo Ambrosio looking like they're going to go side by side into Lecumbe for the first time. Martin really harrying Ambrosio from behind here. Is he going to make a move down the inside? We just have to ease off the gas before the braking zone to make sure that we don't come together with any of the cars up ahead. I've got Warner in my rearview mirror behind, so now just very gently coaxing the car through that set of corners and down the hill into the hairpin. We've lost a couple of drivers, Bogdan and Kratoshvili, unfortunately to server disconnection, so they're our first 2 retirements. Big apologies to them for not being able to see this race through. They're fantastic community members, both Pavel and Andre, so unfortunately they do not get to see this race through. But we've got to keep our eyes forward here because we are right on the rear wing of Martin and Ambrosio up ahead, and then you've got Jeff Aycott up ahead of them, Fiepland, Neumann and Mackenberg in the lead of the race so far. I'm expecting the front 2 of Mackenberg and Neumann to really pull away from the rest of us. They are the pace of the field. Look at their RaceRoom ratings in the TV tower. They are definitely the 2 quickest drivers on track, but it'll be a fierce battle between them to see who can come out on top in this one. Into the final sector of lap 1 then, and you can see up ahead Martin still harrying Ambrosio for position, and both of those cars closing in on Aycott in 4th position. We've dropped a little bit back, but I'm not too worried about that, to be honest, because a little bit of breathing space into the bus stop is just what you need as sparks fly off the curb there as Ambrosio running slightly wide. He's made a move down the inside, he's missed his braking though, and he hits Van Fiepland. Vushel Van Fiepland is round and Aycott is wide. Ambrosio's off track too. We've made up 3 positions there through the bus stop chicane. We're up into 4th position. Very, very fortunate just to have the space to react there and manage to thread our car through. Unfortunate for Ambrosio. It looked like he just got too late on the brakes and then was a bit of a passenger into the apex. We'll take a proper look back at it, but here's the race start. Look at how many cars we've got on this field, but everybody snaking their way through T1 seemingly intact, despite the fact there were 3 or 4 cars wide into T1 there, and everybody barreling down the hill now then into Eau Rouge, taking it nice and easy on this opening lap. Sparks flying off the curb on the inside there, but it seems like everybody made their way through very safely indeed, and then into the slipstream of the Kemmel Straight as cars jostling for position and seeing if there are any opportunities to make up positions into Lecumbe on lap 1. Unfortunately, that neat and tidy driving wasn't to last to the end of the first lap. There's the collision between Ambrosio and Van Fiepland that sends both cars around. We then opportunistically snake past Aycott on the inside. Here's the move one more time. Yes, Ambrosio just too late on the brakes. He becomes a bit of a passenger. Van Fiepland will have had no warning that that was coming, but she manages to rejoin at least and regain a position in the top 10. We rejoin then towards the end of lap 2. we have managed to pull out a little bit of a gap to Aycock behind. We've set the purple middle sector of that lap. Martin still the driver up ahead. Mackenberg in the lead from Tobias Norman. And then Warner in 6th. Van Viertland recovering into 7th as we come through Blanchemont once again, down into the bus stop. You can see the top 2 drivers there racing very closely. We've hit our braking point very nicely there, but Martin has got it wrong coming into the bus stop chicane. He's going to be spun round. We're up into the podium position here after just 2 laps. We've made up 5 positions. We haven't yet made an overtake on track, but just profiting from others' mistakes. Let's take a quick look then at Paul Martin. Not under huge amounts of pressure here, but just perhaps a little bit eager on throttle as he comes around in the back end, steps away from him. He's able to recover it from being a full spin, and he will rejoin then, just alongside fellow SCB founding father Chris Rogers there in the black BMW. He has to slot in behind Chris heading into T1. He may take a little look down his inside. Well, he thinks better of it, and Chris holds that position. Let's take this opportunity though to take a look at some of the racing in the other parts of the field. Here's Patrick Dietz in the black Corvette making a double overtake on 2 SCB stalwarts. Walt Graves on his inside, Nige Woodcutt on his outside. He manages to thread his way between both of them. A fantastic overtake there from Patrick Dietz as he comes now up into Eau Rouge, and his racing really was impressive through this first part of the race. He's now down the inside of Jason Spooner just a lap later to make up another position as he makes his way up and through the field. And Patrick was involved in some fantastic battles through this race. Just up ahead of him, Paul Martin attacking Chris Rogers for position. Patrick would very soon be on the rear wing of Chris Rogers as well, as he, on just a couple of laps later, is following him through Eau Rouge. He gets a much better run through Radion there. He's going to be closing in down the back of the Kemmel Straight. He pulls to the inside. Chris sticking to the outside line here as they're side by side, but even ahead of the braking zone. Patrick has that move done and he closes off the inside line and takes the position. However, that battle wasn't going to end there. We fast forward a few more laps and Chris is all over the rear wing of Patrick Dietz, who is now caught up to Russell van Viertland. So this is a battle in the top 10 of this race for position. You can see Chris there trying to shape to the outside, Patrick covering off the inside, just wanting to put a little bit of pressure on Van Viertland himself. Down into the braking of T1, there's a little bit of contact between Vushel and Patrick. That gives Chris the opportunity to scoot past on the inside, and he's made up that position. Barreling down the hill then into Eau Rouge, Patrick is going to try and get it back straight away. It will all depend on who gets the best run through Eau Rouge and up Radion. Chris slightly wide on exit there. That might give Dietz the advantage coming down the Kemmel Straight. We'll see if Chris can just get a bit of a tow from Van Viertland up ahead, but actually he's gone very defensive. It looks as if he's going to have to slot back in behind Patrick. Yes, he does. Unfortunate for Chris there, he wasn't able to hold that position. But there was brilliant racing all the way through the field as well. We pick up another battle here between Paul Hughes in the Falcon livery car there, getting attacked by Anthony Hobbs on the outside. Derek Poon just behind in close attendance as well. What a move from Hobbs around the outside of Hughes. Unbelievable overtake through Blanchemont. But Hughes isn't having it. He's going to attack straight back down the inside of the bus stop. Makes that position back just as they came into the chicane there. Derek Poon just waiting for an opportunity to pounce behind as well. But Hobbs is now going to attack back, heading into T1 here. Is he going to try it around the outside? This would be another bold move around the outside of Hughes. Yes, he is. He gets the move done as well. Fantastic racing here in the mid-pack. And now 3 cars, nose to tail, coming down the hill and into Eau Rouge. So this drama is not done just yet. Hughes trying to snake back into the slipstream, but actually he may now be coming under pressure from Derek Poon. So we'll cut back to see that battle as we head onto the Kemmel Straight. Yes, Poon has got the run down the outside once again. In fact, he's passed him before we even get into the braking zone. So Hughes is going to have to slot in behind. He's lost 2 positions there in the course of half a lap. Brilliant racing. The battle between Hobbs and Poon would continue all the way through this race. This now right towards the end of the 30-minute session. Hobbs has held him off admirably, but then unfortunately makes a mistake through the bus stop. Just too heavy on the accelerator and he spins out. Really unfortunate for Anthony Hobbs. But if there's a consolation, it is that even the really quick guys can make that mistake. This is Tobias and Marvin battling for the lead, and there's Marvin Mackenberg, one of the fastest drivers in all of RaceRoom, making exactly the same mistake, spinning out, and here we are, scooting past him and up into second positions. This is a perfect time to rejoin the live action from our cockpit and see whether we can hold off a recovering Mackenberg for second position. So here we are then, we're back in cockpit. There's only 7 minutes left of this race. We've been able to hold off Mackenberg for a good number of laps now as he's recovered. He does have damage from that collision with the wall, a bit of suspension damage, a bit of aero damage. So that is no doubt compromising his pace because Marvin is much quicker than us in equal machinery. But nevertheless, I'm taking advantage of what we've got here and I am able to maintain the gap at around half a second to a second. But look at that, Mackenberg getting later on the brakes, closed right up in our rear view mirror there. But nevertheless, we were able to hold position. But he is much closer here than he has been for quite a lot of the last 10 minutes. Coming down the hill and into Eau Rouge, I'm expecting an attack here. So we managed to spot the apex on the way and just feather the throttle through the middle of the corner. We managed to avoid a slowdown penalty. The gap 0.4 seconds. He will be closing in our tow, so I'm going to pull to the inside, take a defensive line here, force Mackenberg to the outside. If he can make the pass around the outside, fair play to him. We're going to have to just judge our braking very carefully here, stick to the apex, give him enough space on the outside. He's side by side with us here. You can see on the helicorsa we managed to hold our line through Lecombe all the way through, and there's no way past for Mackenberg. He's going to have to try again in another overtaking spot, but we very nearly threw it all away just by getting a little bit too hot into the hairpin. Thankfully, we didn't run out too widely and we're able to hold on to the position through the middle sector of this lap. Mackenberg dropped back now 0.7 seconds behind. Tobias is 10 seconds up the road, so you can see the pace difference. Even though we're running very well here and we're holding Marvin behind us, we're not really closing in on the lead of this race. A little look back through the standings shows Jeff Aycott in 4th, Paul Martin in 5th, Bushel van Vierpland in 6th, and then Patrick Dietz and Chris Rogers round out the top 8 cars. We though firmly focused on whether we can hold Mackenberg behind us for the remaining 5 minutes of this race. It's probably just another 2 full racing laps, but we're going to be under pressure all the way through them as we're now onto the back straight and preparing for Blanchimont. 0.8 seconds the gap, so that damage clearly compromising Marvin through the middle sector where he's struggling to get the car turned in to the more technical sections of the lap. Really, it's going to come down to whether I can get better exits through the back straight and into the bus stop chicane so that I don't come under pressure here from an attack. And then clearly Lecombe is the other part of the circuit we're going to be most under threat. Potentially also into the La Source hairpin, but so far at least I'm able to maintain a decent gap into T1 and haven't come under too much pressure down into this corner. But we'll see. Yes, again, Mackenberg closing in onto our rear wing, but thankfully not close enough to make a move. But 0.4 seconds again the gap as we come down the hill and get ready for Eau Rouge. It's going to be critical that we carry as much speed through this set of corners as we can to just protect ourselves from another attack into Lecombe. We're up and onto the curb on the outside, but we've managed to get through there pretty well. The gap still 0.4 seconds, but Marvin will have the tow on us, so we again come to the inside anticipating that he's going to have overspeed. Here he comes, closing in. He moves to the outside once again. He's a little bit further back, so we are now going to hold the apex and then be able to take the second apex at Lecombe. That means he's basically blocked off from running through at the pace that he had from the wider entry into the corner, and we've managed to defend the position once again into the hairpin. This time we're able to take a much tighter line, and it looks like we've consolidated second position for another lap. Probably just one more full racing lap to go here, and then we'll be able to celebrate a fantastic second place finish in this SCB anniversary race. But I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. I am known to crack under this kind of pressure in my sim races, so this time I'm hoping I'm going to be able to hold out. Let's take a replay then of that action as we're defending side by side through Lecombe. Just 2 laps ago, you can see Mackenberg trying to squeeze it around the outside, but the track runs out on you through the second part of Lecombe, so if you're not right the way alongside, if not a little bit ahead, then really there is no way past. We'll take another look at this attempt. You can see plenty of space between us. Brilliant racing. Really appreciate appreciate the way Mackenberg took to that overtake, didn't squeeze us off track, and we gave him plenty of room on the inside. Fast forward one more lap then, we're going to go again. We again are holding to the inside line, just trying to give ourselves the best run into the corner that we can. Mackenberg not as close to us that time, and you can see then he has nowhere to go as we've resumed the racing line through the second part of the corner, and then down into the hairpin. We're able to hold a tighter line this time. There's no way through for him in that instance. We rejoin then on the very last lap of the race. You can see Mackenberg still within half a second of us, but we were able to defend much more comfortably through Lacoon that time around, and it's looking like as long as we can get a good run onto the back straight and through Blanchimont, then we will hold on to this second position. But if Mackenberg gets even a sniff down into the bus stop chicane, I am expecting him to throw it down the inside, because he really might as well throw caution to the wind here as we get towards the end of the race. We're coming then through Blanchimont for the final time. He is now closing in within half a second. He probably isn't going to be close enough to make this move into the bus stop chicane, but we are going to take it nice and conservatively. I don't want to overshoot the corner here. We make the apex. He's got a quicker run through the corner. He's going to be right on our rear wing as we come out and onto the start-finish straight for the final time. Tobias has taken the race win, but we are going to hold on for second place. Brilliant racing. I absolutely loved that. Really enjoyable battling, and just a fantastic testament to the kind of racing that you get in an SCB sim race. Brilliant stuff. But the big congratulations must go to Tobias. He's one of the quickest drivers on the SCB grid, but he's such a brilliant competitor as well. Scrupulously fair in his racing. What an impressive pace that he set. No mistakes, unlike Mackenberg, who made that error at the exit of the bus stop. Here is Tobias then taking the checkered flag to win the SCB anniversary race here at Spa. Brilliant. Well done, Tobias. Really impressive pace and a really impressive drive. Here then are the full classified results. You can see Tobias in first, ourselves in second, Mackenberg third, Jeff Aycott held on for fourth, Paul Martin recovering from that early spin in fifth, and Vushel van Viepelen, she did brilliantly to recover from being tapped around to complete the top six. So there we have it, the SCB anniversary race. I just want to finish by paying tribute to everybody who has raced with us over the course of the last year. I want to pay a particular tribute to Nick and to Stu, who will hate the fact that I'm giving them a shout out, but they have been instrumental in helping us as admins of the community. There's no way SCB would be as big and as thriving as it is without their efforts too. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, get subscribed, and I will see you on the next one.